Hey everyone! It has been a while since we have done our vlogs. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of transition in our office. Our nanny coordinator left, and so we have been back to kind of square one with that, taking over those duties and going back to basics over here. So our vlogs kind of fell a little bit behind, but we're going to work on that and try and get them back up and running. But we just wanted to take a few minutes to kind of talk about our weekend last weekend. We were at Nannypalooza in Maryland, and we just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about what Nannypalooza is, how awesome it is, our experience that we had there, and highly recommend all nannies and agencies attending.
Yeah, I think that was our second year. We attended last year in Philadelphia, and we just always have so much fun. We learn so much, and it's a great conference to be a part of.
A little bit, I guess, about what Nannypalooza is. So it's a training weekend, like a conference for nannies to attend. I think next year will be their 15th year doing it, and they're doing a cruise. And what's it called?
Nannypalooza coming to you October 24th through the 29th. I don't know. I didn't check where they're cruising to. I don't remember. So I would highly recommend that you check the Nannypalooza website. I think it's just nannypalooza.com, and they have all the information and dates, pricing, probably destination, and all of that on the website.
And the founder, Sue, is super helpful.
Sue is super.
She is. So she helps find roommates if like you want to go but you like don't really know anybody. Like she helps you find a roommate. She helps kind of navigate all of that. So, don't let that kind of hold you back if you're like, well, I don't want to go by myself. It's a very welcoming environment. Everybody introduces themselves, like welcomes you. Yeah, it's very collaborative, very much a team environment. And by the time, you leave, you'll have tons of friends. So you really should not be like nervous or scared to go by yourself.
No. And a lot of times different states put together, like North Carolina put together a North Carolina attendee group, so you can all chat, the months leading up to it and start getting to know each other. And that kind of helps break the ice a little bit too.
And she has too, like the attendees Facebook group for everyone, so you can kind of start getting to know people ahead of time too.
Yes. And then every year she does a theme. This year was Discover the Magic. And they are normally sponsored. Homework Solutions is one of the big sponsors of Nannypalooza, and so they're also a really great website for domestic and household staffing laws and resources and things like that you may need. So we just wanted to share quickly about some of the topics that we attended and that we got so much from. I attended Understanding Emotions Leads to Understanding Yourself by Nicole Pierre, and that was really good. We talked about why it's important to teach kids emotional literacy and how that helps them throughout, their growth into adulthood. And one of the quotes or things that she said that really sparked with me was that children don't have challenging behaviors. They have behaviors that challenge us. So just really understanding, how to help them express themselves, I think can really solve a lot of maybe the miscommunication and the acting out or the challenging behaviors that we perceive them to have. But a lot of times it's just their lack of knowledge on the words to use to express their emotions and what they're feeling and what they're going through. So that one was really good. I enjoyed that. Do you want to talk about one of yours?
Sure. One of the ones that I really liked was about sensory processing and like their balance system. So I think my biggest takeaway from that was how sometimes we might view a child's behavior as like a tantrum or they're just not listening. But for a child that truly has like a sensory, sensory processing disorder or hypo or hypersensory, they may not be misbehaving. They're just not able to cope at that time with what's happening. And so it's hard when you have a child that is, diagnosed. She kept saying over and over, like, you can't diagnose. So no, but we are with the kids, so we kind of know what those tendencies are. So, children may not be acting out. They may not be misbehaving. It's not that they're not listening. It's just that literally they, are either overstimulated or understimulated with their their sensory, I think it's their vestibular system, which is like your inner ear. So it affects like your balance. And that's why a lot of times kids will spin and spin and spin and spin because they crave, she said it was almost like a high. They crave that feeling of like spinning and things like that. So it's super interesting to learn about that.
That's cool. And then I just pulled out my notes too, also going back to the understanding emotions. And what I really need to work on too is role modeling what we want from our kids. So one of the notes I jot down was, if you tell your kid, to wait 1 minute, also teaching them, what that looks like. So, if your child is like, okay, can you wait a minute while I finish my picture? You say, okay, I will wait 1 minute while you finish your picture, and honor that minute. Let 1 minute go by, and then you come back to the child and say, okay, now it's time to, do X, Y, and Z. So just being a good role model for them, having patience with them, being present in the moment, and showing them, what that behavior, what that time, line looks like. And then also social breaks is really important for kids. Having small intermissions just to kind of reset their energy level. Sometimes, they're just getting excited, and they can't really hear or process, instructions you're trying to give them because their excitement level is so high. Or sometimes that may, on the playground, because they're so excited, they may tend to get aggressive, and it's not to harm, they're just excited. So knowing your child and knowing how to say, hey, come over here for 1 minute, let's have some water, have a, snack, and then that provides them a chance to kind of reset and come back down, and then they can go back and play. So it was just really good. If you guys want information or more resources, like we have handouts and things from the classes that we attended. So if any of these things sound like things you're dealing with or you just want to know more about, we're happy to share. So just message us and we can share with you our notes and our handouts that we got.
Yeah, and another thing that Nannypalooza does is they are the ones that put on International Nanny Training Day, which we did our first one last year here in Greensboro, and I mean it went well, and we had a great turnout for our first year. So any classes too, we're I think planning on doing another one this year. And would love feedback on like types of classes you're interested in, topics you want to hear more about. We would love to, have those ideas because it's just the two of us. So that's all the ideas we're going to get. And we would love more feedback on that. So that's an event that Nannypalooza also represents or puts on. And that's all across. Yeah. All across, now it's international. So all across the world on the same day, there's hundreds of nannies attending trainings, which is super cool.
Yeah. And I just want to go back and correct myself because we do want to honor the attendees that did pay for this information like we did and the speakers that put on, took the time, to give us this information. So if you do message us with, having interest on some of the classes we talked about, we can help put you in touch with those speakers or who gave us the information. We don't want to completely give out their materials that we're privileged that they shared with us. So just wanted to clarify that a little bit, that we won't be giving away precious information to respect, their time and expertise.
Yeah, and I think too, part of the, I think the workshops and classes are awesome and things like that, but I think one thing we kept talking about all weekend is how like being a nanny is so isolating because you're just with children and you don't get a lot of adult interaction. So there's a lot of times that groups of nannies go out to dinner. They build in like networking time too, and sometimes it's just good just to like vent and just to kind of know like, oh, okay, so there are other people in the same boat as me. So it's really like, I feel like reassuring to know that like, other nannies, whether they're brand new nannies, whether they've been doing this 20 years, whether they're 19, whether they're 60, whether they're whatever. You know, we all kind of go through the same issues, and we all have the same questions and experiences, and you know, it's nice to know, I think, that it's not like just you or your family that you work for, and or the child that you watch. You know, it's not just like a one person struggle or a one person. What's the opposite of struggle? Like celebration, success. Yeah, like, you know, you can share all your triumphs, share all your struggles, and all of that. And so, I think the socialization aspect, you know, is just as important and worth your time and money as the education portion.
And you get just as much of that as you do the education. I mean, at the end of the weekend, we were just completely overwhelmed, overstimulated. Like, we didn't want to talk. We didn't want to see anybody else. Like, it's great, though. It really is good. So you definitely get, I mean, it's invaluable. It really is. Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
We're obviously still tired.
I was about to say, we're still kind of overstimulated and tired.
No, so, let us know. Give us feedback. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Message us. We want to hear from you, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Oh, bye.